Hello and welcome to the World Class Battle League, one of our coach interviews with the best division, Evergrande. We have Ryan, the coach of the London Lucarios.
Hello.
Alright, so we'll straight into the first question. How long have you been playing Draft League format?
Let's see here. I think I started in this last summer 2 years ago, I believe it was. I've been playing for about 2 years now in terms of draft league, with the first big league I ever joined being a league called EBA, which went on through about 3 seasons before cancellation.
Nice. Those leagues don't really go past season 2, I've heard. Anyways, how have you usually placed in your leagues?
Let's see here. The first league I ever joined before switching to EBA, I had won both of my first two battles, being a 3-0 and a 6-0, but then we just never had active people. But usually I've placed all right, but I have not made a playoff runs in my leagues, but I've always been close. Like, for example, this last season of WCBL, I think I was in contention, but then when me and Vish never got our match played, I'm pretty sure that knocked me out of playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs were just like the playoffs run is always brutal.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's your favorite playstyle and why?
I probably like a mixture of bulky offense with defensive because I find that the defensive mods can really support the offense, and with bulky offense, you're able to take a hit and deal out damage. So a lot of the mythical Pokemon, like for example Victini, Mew, Manaphy, those are some favorites that I usually try to go for in a draft league because they are quite crucial to picking up kills and staying supportive all at once.
I remember like going into stuff about me though. I will be one league I was in. I drafted a triple pixie core.
Dear God.
It was so much fun. But sadly the league died. Anyways, kind of spitballing into the next question. What's your favorite Pokemon and why? Now, what we have been doing is in general, or one favorite Pokemon in general and one in Draft League.
Okay, well, obviously my favorite Pokemon in general is Lucario. It was it he that because I before I started playing the Pokemon games, how I got introduced to Pokemon was through the TCG, and the first thing of TCG I ever got was just 100 random cards off of Amazon, and one of those happened to be a Lucario card, and I was like, wow, this guy's cool. Then I started getting into Showdown, and I saw he was a UU, so I would play UU matches, and I'm like, wow, I like this Pokemon. I like its play style. Plus, it's really cool. And then I started like Lucario Mystery Mew. That was a decent movie, and into the actual anime itself on Netflix. Like I just started to grow a development for the whole Lucario evolution. Then he got a Mega Evolution in Gen 6. I was just like, this is amazing. And so in general, my favorite Pokemon is Lucario, hence why I'm coaching the London Lucarios.
Yes. What about Draft League?
Okay, Draft League's a bit tougher. Let's see here. I think my favorite Pokemon in Draft League is between two Pokemon. And these are probably the two Pokemon I've used the most in draft leagues. Either Latios or Manaphy. Those are two mons that I've used and have won me probably the most games. But in terms of Megas like Mega Scizor are really nice, and Infernape is also a really nice Pokemon that I've used in Draft League that's done me well. But I'd say probably Latios first, Manaphy second, then Mega Scizor and Infernape. I can't decide.
Alright. What is your favorite type?
From a general standpoint, I like fighting types, but if we're talking about draft league, fairies are just crucial. If you don't have a fairy, you are not going to perform well unless you can manage to build around others. Fairies are just so important now in draft, like being able to counter so many types and being only weak to two different types.
Well, this kind of transitions into the next question. What do you think is essential to Draft League success?
Picking up a good mega and a fairy type. If you can get successfully with those two, you are set.
Yeah, yeah. It's different from what me and Spectrum said. Me and Spectrum said comfort with them on, like the team.
That's also very important. Experience is another big factor. Like, you don't just want to go into a draft thing and say, oh, Crabominal's new. Why don't I try to pick him up and use him? No, you should always be able to pick the mods you're comfortable with, which is why I draft Latios or Manaphy a lot in different draft leagues because I've used
Yeah,
them throughout the years.
yeah. What was your favorite generation?
Um, well, being younger, the first gen I ever got was Gen 5, but I never completed the game. So the first game that I ever completed was Gen 6 with um, Pokemon Y. So I really like Generation 6, but I also like Generation 4 and 7. But I think 6 is what got me into Pokemon, and it was the introducing to new Megas and all that, and it really just changed the competitive playstyle. So I'd say Gen 6.
Yeah. Gen 6 was pretty cool. What do you like better, Megas or Z moves?
See, I think having a good mega is more important than finding a mon who can use a Z move. Like it's like all you should always find a mon who's going to be able to use a Z move. But if you get a good Z move user, but then you end up with like a mega Sharpedo or like a mega Abomasnow, you kind of lost that whole value of your mega pick because you have to mega evolve turn one. So Sharpedo
Are
can't use speed boost, which means it's kind of weaker in terms of draft league rules, and Mega Abomasnow is Mega Abomasnow. So I
are
think
you
it's important to
saying Mega
set.
Abomasnow is bad?
If you know how to use it and build around it, it can be good, but generally, it is one of what people would
Yeah.
consider the lower tier megas for what you want.
Well, yeah, it is in the lowest tier, but
If you know how to
anyways,
play it, good for you, but I don't, and I don't feel like drafting it.
I mean, drafting low tier monsters is really fun.
It
Um,
can be, yes. If you get good low tier mods, it can be fun to play with. Like I've had a lot of fun with some tier 5 mods.
Munchlax is the best. Um, what is the
Oh,
best
that's kind of
budget?
funny because I'm gonna draft a Pokemon in WCBL, sort of like Munchlax for my tier 5 slot at the very end, just for the memes. I did it in another league, and it was so fun.
Oof. What do you think is the best budget Pokemon in your opinion, and why?
Best budget. Okay, let's see here. Um, I think Salamence is a really good budget Pokemon. Being tier 2 and only being 120 rather than 180. I mean, you get Wish, you get Bulk, you can have offense, you can have setup, you can have Moxie, Intimidate. There's just so much you can do with Salamence, and he's such a great
I
Pokemon. And
mean,
considering
right.
he's in tier 2, it's just better.
Usually by budget we mean like tier 4, like lower tier.
Oh, okay. That's what you mean by budget. I thought you meant just
Yeah.
where you get the most out of from any tier. Okay. Well, if we're talking like Miltank's a very good one in my opinion. Miltank gives you that bulk or that offense that you need, plus Heal Bell, Milk Drink, support, Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave. Miltank just does so much, and for how cheap it is, I love drafting Miltank. It's probably my favorite tier 5 mon in draft league.
Yeah. Nice. What is your favorite unconventional set you've used before? So like a set that's not common. Like I ran Ciamente versus Primer, something like that.
Let me think of a set that I've done before. Oh gosh, it's hard to remember. Hold on. I think once I had a normal scissor and I ran um no, I had an Entei and I ran a Sunny Day Fire Blast Solar Beam
Ooh,
against my opponent.
ooh, that's pretty lit. Um, and do you prefer to have a plan for a draft or to just wing it?
You see, I try to set out a draft ahead of time, but as if I get sniped, I'm usually not having enough time because it's fast draft to be able to, oh, okay, how do I plan? So I usually just look through, find a Pokemon that will fit that spot, and I just draft that instead if I know how to use it. Like for
Yeah,
example, sometimes I'd want to go for Sylveon. It's like, oh, frick, it already got drafted. Togekiss is open. I'll draft that because I need a fairy.
yeah. Um, and finally, since you've been in WCBL for 2 seasons, how do you feel about branching off into Indigo and Evergrande?
I think it's a good move. Obviously, we have some new faces to the WCBL, like JT is a new face, Torterra. Let's see here. Awesome. So we have a few new ones who will be fun to play. Let's see here. I know some of the people from it, like Killua, Primer, I played him. Obviously, I've played you. And
Yeah,
I've played. Who else? Who else is in Evergrande? Oh, Zone. Yeah, I've played Zone as well. So I think it'll be fine. Obviously, I've only been in WCBL for one playing season. The first season, I was just a draft analyzer and power rankings
that
host
didn't
with
really
you and
last.
Spectrum. But
It
in
didn't
terms
really
of
last.
playing, I know I think I have a general idea of half of Evergrande, and the other half I'll just have to learn from experience and battling them on how to prep. And obviously, I don't have to play Indigo for a while, so and I know most of the faces in Indigo.
Indigo tier 1 sweats. Anyways, here's an interesting question. Who do you think will win the title? So Evergrande Championship, Indigo Championship, and then title.
Um, that's a good question. I think looking at it, I think JS has a really good chance to go to win the finals in Indigo. I think his
Ooh.
playstyle is very good. I think he's a very good player. I've played him before. He 3-0'd me, which I'm surprised it wasn't like a 5-0 or a 6-0, but he still beat me pretty bad. So I think if I had to pick Indigo, I'm going JS. And if I had to go um Evergrande, let's see here. Um I'd probably go. I think Primer has a good chance to go.
Ooh. Yeah. Primer versus JS for title match. That sounds like a good match.
That would be. And obviously, I'd hope for Primer because go Evergrande, but
Woohoo.
JS would definitely put up a good fight.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being in this interview. It
No
was
problem.
definitely a good one. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the interview. We will be back with another one soon enough. Bye bye.